Yeah, well, I was 6 years old when I first started playing piano, yeah. I was doing a lot of sports, as you do when you're a boy and a kid and stuff, right? I was really good at sports. I loved playing sports, but eventually I just got tired of getting yelled at for not being good enough or whatever.
How are you? How are you, Nahko?
Good, bro. Yeah,
Yeah?
very happy to be here.
Yeah.
Second time in Prague now. And I think we're on show 5 now. They Take Your Power Back tour.
Ah,
Yeah. So,
tonight is 5th.
let's see. We had Haarlem, Cologne, Hamburg, Berlin, and now Prague. Yes, so show 5. And yeah,
Oh,
it's been great, dude. I think now I'm caught up on sleep and not jet lagged anymore, and I'm in the flow of the tour now.
that's great.
Yeah, you got to kind of get comfortable with the run of the show and with all the the production things and keep up on all the moving parts. But yeah,
The schedule and you need to come and it must be prepared.
schedule. But then you're just keeping up with administrative duties as well. I'm running a business, so there's a lot going on, both
Okay.
at home and on the tour. So just.
Okay.
You're just juggling all the duties.
But you enjoy
And
it.
then you're also trying to take care of yourself and, do the daily things as well, right? So,
Exactly.
yeah, it's a lot. It's pretty busy, but it's been fun.
And so yesterday you were in Berlin to have a show.
Yesterday was the day off, and
Yeah.
the day before was the show, yes.
Okay. How was it in Berlin?
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I prepare questions for you, but we can also freestyle.
Up to you,
how
man.
do you feel about it? Yeah.
I'm just here to flow with you.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So for me, I would just start a little bit about this dream coming true that I'm sitting here with you because
Can we actually pause for a second?
yeah,
Maybe we should get coffee. We're at a coffee shop.
I mean they can
You
make
know
a
what I'm saying?
coffee for you.
I
Yeah.
think you can. Is she standing right out here?
I don't know.
She's recording right now.
Yeah, she's recording.
Please stand by, guys. We're going to caffeinate the guest and host. Oh, look at this camera. Here we go. Stand by.
Yeah. So, I listened to your music since 2000.
Yeah, I see you have we need to get you a new hat, man.
Mhm.
It's get your fresh one.
Yeah.
I see that. It's very worn. I love that.
Yeah.
It's a what do you call it? A relic.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the medicine hat, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that from
Yeah, it's
last
from
year?
your concert. Yeah.
From last year.
Yeah. And I have a crazy story about it, but there's so many things I would love to
What
share
happened?
with you. I actually found my shamanic teacher through this hat. Do you want to hear the story?
How'd that happen?
So, do you know Sundance sweet medicine path?
Sweet medicine?
No.
The woman.
Yeah. No, sweet medicine
Oh.
is a path. It's Sundance sweet medicine path. It's a
Oh,
tradition
yeah.
of
It's
North
also a woman's
Central.
name, yes.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, but
And-
go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, so there was this twisted hair tradition,
Mm-hmm.
and then evolved in the sweet medicine path. And I started to study recently in Italy because I'm on this path for some time. And I went to Crete in Greece, the island Crete, and I met a very strange group in the Temple of Knossos, which is very famous kind of original place of this civilization in Europe. I'm there walking with this hat of yours, and I just see this group of women, and because I can already distinguish kind of the vibe of the people a little bit, I saw that they are very special. They were kind of radiating, shining, there was something really different than the tourists around. So I was like, okay, there is some message for me because I follow these things. And so I went to this group of women, 2 of them especially, because they split. I was like, hey, I'm Adam. Nice to meet you. And you probably have some message for me, and I would love to know what's going on because you are very special.
I love that. That's so presumptuous of you as well to roll up on some strange women and be like, yo, you got a message for me? What's up?
And they were like, looking at me like, what the fuck? Who is this guy?
Yeah.
And so they started to ask questions. I answered. I was asking questions. And so we had very weird 3-4 minutes of conversation. But I just felt.
Called to them, yeah.
And then I had this hat on my head, and So she was like, what does medicine mean to you? And this question was crucial because I said something, and then she was like, and do you know sweet medicine? And I remember this name, but I didn't know what's the specific, like, what's that? And I was like, oh, I have it in myself, in my memory. I don't know. And she was like, okay, so do you know Kvodoška, which is like sexual teachings of Naguals? It's a book, beautiful book. And this only one book I had with me on that island in my backpack in that moment.
You actually had it on you.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's the sweet medicine thing, because I knew it from the book that it's coming from this tradition. And I was like, yeah, I have this book with me. And they were like, poof. And so they spread the message between these women. And I met a few of them, and I took contact because I felt that it will continue. And then we are leaving the temple, full of tourists, this classic place. And I'm going out, and there is this one woman from this circle running after me, being like, Adam, do you want to meet our teacher? And I really felt honored that this is really happening. And I said, like, of course. And I turned around, and it was like from Castañeda book. I was walking back, and there was this group of women surrounding this little shamanic grandma. And she looked at me and she was like, I heard about you. It was really a beautiful moment. And so the story goes, this happened in the end of September. And I just knew that she will be my teacher because I studied shamanism 13 years ago. And then I practiced. And then I was called to basically move to another level with it. And I met her. So 2 weeks ago, I was in Italy on this first class. It's 4 years. And it's just amazing. And I want to give thanks to you because it's a little thing, but you know how universe operates through these little details. And your path, your music, and you as a human, like your story, like helped me so hard to go through my own healing. So yeah, but enough about me.
Yeah.
This is about you.
That was a great story. So you just started the course.
Yeah.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah. I got new medicine name.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It sounds like it's, shoot, that's sort of right. Like you're saying, the universe works in mysterious ways, don't it? And that, wearing that hat is certainly like a, what do you call it? Like a beacon, like a...
Exactly. Yeah.
It invites the question, right?
Maybe one of the
what does it mean, and
most important questions.
What is it, and yeah, it's cool. It's fun like that as well. I like that. That is how that operates or operated for you.
And so, what does it mean for you, medicine?
Medicine. Well, the hat is directed towards musical medicine, and it's in the band, of course. And me, so that's really the brand of it, I think that when I came up with the band name, it wasn't like it was a trend, come on in. But I think that it was just kind of, it sounded cool, medicine for the people, Actually, what was happened was that I was playing around a campfire on Big Island, Hawaii. I was living there, working on some farms. I was work trading. And it had just kind of, Apple had just put out maybe not just put out, but it was like that year I got my hands on a MacBook for the first time. And
what was the year?
GarageBand. It's first time playing around with GarageBand,
Yeah.
What year was it? Shoot, man. I don't know. It was probably like 2008, maybe?
I thought so, yeah.
And I remember jamming around this fire, and I was playing my song "Be Here Now," and my buddy Blake Cisneros was around that fire with me. He's playing his djembe. We were working on a lettuce farm, so we were doing like 2,000 head of lettuce a day. Planting, chopping, harvesting, cleaning, taking it to the markets and stuff like that. It's an awesome gig, super fun place to be. And yeah, I was playing the song, and in the beginning of the song, when we were recording, because we just had the laptop sitting there,
With the
by
fire.
the fire, like whatever. We were probably smoking a joint, and he was like, he goes, I started playing the song, not singing, I was just playing the guitar. And he was like, yo, this is medicine for the people. We're sitting around the fire. Like, it was like a call out tag, He was like naming the place and what this was, kind of thing on the mic. And eventually, like, I burned that onto a CD, and I had a CD player, and I would, like, take it to work, you know what I'm saying? Like, fit in my pocket somehow. I don't know. I have it in my pocket. And I'd listen to it over and over and over again because it was, like, the only song I had on the CD,
Wow.
So every day I heard him say medicine for the people. And then by the time, I don't remember when this was, I don't know how long later, I was trying to come up with, like, a band name, And I thought, well, shoot, medicine for the people sounds pretty cool, That makes sense. Yeah, this is medicine for the people for sure, It felt a bit long, like a bit more, it was on the nose, and kind of like, clearly I didn't think it was too corny because I kept going with it, But it was certainly something I had to grow into, the name and the understanding, because life had still yet to be much life had yet to be lived in that sense. Wow, words. So, yeah, I think that in terms of that talking point for like what is medicine? Yeah, I mean the angle that I have used it from is simply what it has been for me, which has been a balm, a salve, a warm cup of espresso.
Enjoy.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, like this thing that everyone, needs kind of some medicine, and your music is bringing a lot of medicine to a lot of people. So do you want to share a little bit about like the beginning, because you were born basically as a partially indigenous, if I can say it like that, and but you grew up in like a U.S. Christian family, right?
Mm-hmm.
In Oregon, was it? Like, yeah.
Just say that one more time.
Oregon?
Yes. That's nice. It's nice. It's good. That's good because you're using like the dictation that I would exclude me to. Yeah. I grew up in Oregon, born and raised there. I was left when I was 17 and I lived all over the world for a bit there. And I came back and found a nest in 2017.
Back there? So
yeah.
recent, like now you actually have your home there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm out in the country, about an hour from the city.
All right.
Near the National Forest. But yeah, I was adopted when I was 9 months old. And when I was 21, I found my birth family. And
21?
Yeah.
Ooh. And you didn't know about them? Or like when did the information came?
I mean, adoption processes are all very different, over state to state, I guess country to country, I would assume as well. Mine was private, so not a public documented thing. And so, yeah, the information wasn't available, so I had to do my own research in that regard. To my mom's credit, she did write to me till I was about 5. And in her letters, she would often say, like, when you're ready to come find me, come find me. So I didn't take interest in any of that until I was about 19 or 20. And then, yeah, found her. And then shortly thereafter, found my dad's family. But now, yeah, both my dads, the dad that raised me and the dad that I wanted to say something so funny there. And I was like, oh, it's probably not appropriate, but it's okay. I'll tell him as a bro later because it's funny. Anyways, both the dads have passed and gone. It's just my mom's now. So, but yeah, big family, dude. Yeah, 9 siblings,
Sure.
3 different families. Mostly everybody's on the West Coast. of the States. We got some relatives in the Philippines, in Puerto Rico, and in Florida as well. My cousin's in Florida.
All over the place.
Yeah. We
And
are here.
What about Hawaii? Like you said, Hawaii. So how is your connection with this island?
Well, there's a common misconception that I'm Hawaiian, but it's not true.
AI told me this about you actually today.
Yeah, well, you know how AI is. We train it, you know. I know you're listening. Yeah, well, you know, she's just pulling she. I just called her she.
I mean, I have female voice.
You do? Yeah. I got the British one or whatever sounding, yeah, and she's so kind. Yeah, no, she's just pulling from the internet, you know. So the internet, of course, is full of nonsense, as we know. But yeah, no, when I was 18, I joined what's called WWOOF, Willing Workers on Organic Farms.
Yeah, I know about it.
Yeah. And yeah, I was in Alaska at the time, and I was just trying to figure out what to do with my winter. I think I was 18, you know, and I was like, where should I go? And yeah, I joined the work trade program and landed on Big Island.
Oh.
And ended up staying for like 7 years.
7 years?
Yeah.
Wow, beautiful.
I mean, it was just the lifestyle was really attractive, you know. It was like...
What was special about it
for you? Oh my God, what isn't it? You know, Big Island is a really special place. It has 7, I think, out of 13 ecosystems. Don't quote me on that. Ask your AI companion later. Pretty sure that's pretty close, though. Quite a few different, you know, because it's right on the ley line there. But you get like high desert on the Kona side, and you get like snow on the mountain, and then you can go down to the wetlands and the jungle. So it's pretty diverse land, you know. And then of course, I mean, who doesn't like living in nearly year-round summer, you know? And even when it rained, of course, in Gila side where I was living for the most part, it's quite rainy, you know, which reminded me of back home because I grew up in the Pacific Northwest, which is also a very rainy climate, about 6 months out of the year. But yeah, I just fell in love with the lifestyle, you know. I was picking fruit and, you know, farming and working construction and building houses and landscaping and doing blue collar stuff, you know, and playing music on the side, selling weed on the side, you know. I was working a lot of jobs. I was doing anything I could do to make money, you know. And surfing, and fell in love with surfing there. Fell in love with horseback riding there too. A lot of firsts came from living there, and a lot of the first 2 albums that I put out were inspired and written in the islands. So I can understand, and especially, of course, the first viral song, Aloha Keakua, I can understand where people would think that I'm from there because I look local, you know, and that's okay. You know, I just put people straight when I can. But yeah, I love that. I love the place, you know, and the Kanaka Maoris and their history, and of course the history of you know, the other immigrants that came there, were forced to come there to do the sugarcane, and just the overall history of the place and the power of the land there. It's just incredible. You know, it's a really special place. And
what's their, let's say, spirituality about? Do they have some kind of traditions?
Sure, yeah, no, the Kanaka Maoli do, for sure. They are very, you know, spiritual people, but they are also quite divided as well, you know, just like any other group of people who've been conquered, you know, who've been Americanized, etc. So I would say there's a pretty diverse, diverse belief system amongst the people, because of course there's far fewer pure bloodlines of the Kanaka Maoli, and I'm only speaking from my own understanding, so don't quote me on any of these facts. I'm just saying what I experienced and what I know. All you trolls out there. Nahko said there's not a whatever.
He's full of shit.
Right, fuck yeah, Jesus Christ. You gotta be really careful. You spit the straight facts these days, you know.
Yeah.
So disclaimer, might say some incorrect information. So feel free to, correct me in the comments. But then of course, you got so many mixed people as well, because there were Filipinos and Vietnamese and Japanese and Chinese and Koreans. Just so many different types of Polynesians and Asians that were brought over, that mixed with the Kanakamolis that were left, because of course disease had been killing them off, much like in Aotearoa as well. The Maoris were dying off as well. I mean, look. It was tough, those diseases were tough, and you survived if you could, and now we've got what we've got. It's a fucking rainbow.
It's crazy.
But it is what it is, and I would say that it don't matter if you show up or if you're from there and you were raised Catholic or you're raised Christian or you're raised in some form of the traditional ways, because even in those traditional practiced places, there is divide about what's the original way. Even in language, Hawaii versus Hawaii, even the proper native speakers will say Hawaii is a colonized way of saying it. There's a more traditional way, and da-da-da-da-da-da. I have found this, being somebody who's mixed as well, I have found anywhere I go, any culture that you kick it with who's had a tough go at it over time, you will find people who want to argue the points and be like, yo, I'm doing this more OG than you are, and this is the proper way. And like, all right, fair enough, show us the way. But it's like vegans, they're like,
I just spoke about
you're gonna know you're gonna know they're vegan because they're gonna fucking tell you.
Yeah, right away,
like, bro. And then and then I always think about it as like horse people too, because horse people are stereotyped as like crazy, which there's a lot of crazy horse people out there, and they're very specific, right? Everybody's got their own particular way about how to do it, but they will tell you what their way is, and that it's probably the right way, And I've always found I've been attracted to people who are just like, yeah, do your thing, man, offering tips to like, maybe try, But yeah, man, I'm sure you've experienced that in your time as well. Like,
of course,
man, you're trying to be nice, but then they're just like, no, this is the way, and you're like, okay.
Meditations help a lot for me, because then you have this space.
Helps you drown out the noise.
Yeah, and just observe more and not be so attached to even some emotions in me that I can be just like, okay, you do whatever, and I just find my peace in it. And then I can share my part. Finding the sweet spot.
That's
cool,
in your
man.
frame now. This is fun to be able to see it. I feel like we're on Adam Rogan here.
Yeah. Exactly where we are.
Jamie, could you pull up the? We need a guy on a laptop to.
Where is the guy?
Yeah,
he actually left just when we started.
The girl, she needs to be like our person to be like, yo, could you look up that the day that the.
Yeah, actually.
Do you do this often? Are you doing podcasts often? Okay.
No, I'm just like being gifted by the universe that I can have a conversation with you. But still, I would love to ask about your. Like, how did you start to be connected to music? Like, yeah.
Yeah, well, I was 6 years old when I first started playing piano, yeah. I was doing a lot of sports, as you do when you're a boy and a kid and stuff, right? And I was really good at sports. I loved playing sports, but eventually I just got tired of getting yelled at for not being good enough or whatever. And and there was something in piano that just caught something in me, like it was just an expression, right? Granted, I still got yelled at playing piano, but it's probably because I was a tyrant of a kid. It's very for how decent I was, and I'm reflecting now with you because I was just thinking about talking to my daughter's mom about this as well, just like how rebellious I was I could still keep it buttoned up when I needed to, you know. But yeah, I started playing piano when I was 6 years old. Shout out to Auntie Dot, who bought us our first piano and said, "Look, I will pay for your first month of piano lessons, and if you stick with it, I'll buy the piano." I think that's how it went. The deal was like that. So it was me, my brother. In my adopted family, it was my sister was the oldest. I was the middle, and my brother was the younger one. And those two also were adopted, but they were adopted as well. But they had the same mom, but they were adopted from different foster cares. So they were separated, you know, when they were babies, or rather, my sister was born first, then was in foster care, got adopted. I got adopted from elsewhere, and then my brother got adopted from a different foster care.
Which was her brother.
Biologically, yes.
Wow.
But they'd never met until.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's intense.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's just what it was, you know. And then they also took piano lessons with me, but I kind of stuck with it. They spent some time with it, but dropped off. And then, you know, I think, you know, I was probably like 12 or 13. And I was in church, supposed to be listening to the sermon, taking notes, and I was like writing songs. Taking notes because I knew my dad would test me, but I would still write these long poems, you know, during church because it was just the thing I was doing. And then I'd secretly try and open candy in my pocket.
It's sweet. I can see this small Nahko doing this.
Little David, man. Yeah, and then I think I was 14 when a buddy of mine gave me my first guitar. And it was a jazz electric guitar and a big F-hole, Japanese. It was red. It was super cool.
Wow.
I think it even had a whammy bar on it. And he gave me also a Marshall mini stack.
Wow, so you were ready to
with
go.
an amp, you know what I'm saying? That we could clip on your belt kind of thing.
So cool.
I remember I brought it home and I could see the look in my mom's face. She's like, "Oh my God." Because I've been asking for one, you know, and they're like, nah. And then my friend gave me one. I was like, "Oh yeah, it's about to go down." And I remember practicing in the hallway in front of my mom's door. Bless her heart, you know, she let me do it, even though it sounded horrible. You know,
I can imagine.
It was bad. It's pretty bad.
And loud.
And loud, yeah. And there's only a certain time of day I could do it, you know. Fair enough, you know. But I practiced 2 hours a day on the piano, and they were really trying to shape me into being, you know, classically trained. And to my dad's credit as well, like he was a musician in his own right. Like he played trumpet. And so we shared that, you know, like we shared the sports thing. And then when I was kind of trying to push that away, we were able to share the music part as well. Not so much the songwriting, right? It was just more just the love for music and like that expression. So yeah, that's kind of where it started.
And so like the moment when you realized that you can do it, because you said that you went with this like kind of traveling for winter, you know, to Hawaii and doing this like growing vegetables and, you know, helping doing constructions, all of these things. When did you realize that you can actually really decide that this will be your career? Like, or how this happened?
Because many years later. Yeah. The idea of a career was lost on me. I never even thought about that. I mean, when I was like 17 still, right before I moved out, we were reaching out to conservatories like in San Francisco and looking at like, could I get a scholarship doing classical music? But at that time, you know, 16, 17, I was so full of like angst and like I'd finished my high school. I was homeschooled from third grade to 10th grade. And then I finished my high school diploma at like a community college. And in that time period, it was like my relationship with my parents was falling apart. And I was pushing the envelope every day, you know. And it was kind of a cry for help too, right? I was like, this isn't working for us. Like, and to my parents' credit again, and I can say this now because I'm much older and clearly more mature, that, you know, the way that they offered me to either stay or leave was really fair. You can stay, but you got to like, play by the rules here.
Respect.
Yeah, some respect here. Or you can go and, we're here for you, but, there's no nipple to suck on here. You know what I'm saying? And I said, okay, well, then I'm going to go, and I did. I still would come back and visit, things like that. But it wasn't like, I never asked for money. I never asked for a place to stay. I never was like asking for favors because there was a bit of pride there, I think, that that I was holding on to. Like, I can make it on my own. And even though when I left, it was scary for a couple of years because, I didn't know how to make, how am I going to like, where am I going to stay? And like, I got bills to pay. Like, how am I going to pay these bills? And like, where am I going to shower? And, how am I going to eat? All these things that, you don't think about when you're a teenager.
No, and you are taken care of completely.
Oh my God, yeah, so taken care of. Yeah. And then you really realize it when you actually leave. You're like,
it's like,
man,
oh my
I
God.
fucking had it. I had it made, But I did figure it out, But yeah, it took some time for sure.
Yeah. Like,
oh yeah, but to go back to your question, it wasn't until I was probably 26 or 27 that I became aware of the idea that I could do this and sustain and make a career out of it because, excuse me, up until then, I was living in Hawaii, and 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 era, I was convinced that I was going to live on the island, be a farmer, play music on the side.
Like a hobby. And
Yeah. And I loved permaculture. I loved, animal husbandry, the whole bit, like I just loved it. I was really into it. Sustainability, and I had this really cool place that I was living at that I was part, or not co-owner per se, but like I was involved in it to an emotional attachment / like what I considered an investment of time and energy that I could call it my home. And I had started it with a buddy of mine from the ground up, and we sort of created a business there. And so the focus was more that than it was like songwriting or like putting a band together or going on tour, which was funny because every summer I would go back to the States and drive around the States in a van and play at coffee shops and farmers markets and get gigs where I could. And before I realized I was touring,
basically.
And I was like burning CDs in the back of the van and like screen printing my own shirts and stuff. And that's how I made gas money, busking and then selling my CDs for $10 a pop and shirts for $5, that I got at Goodwill, So it was like, okay, cool. This is like, I can make bread from this. Sweet. I like it. I love it. Like, I want you to listen to me. I think I have something to say. But the idea of like, starting an LLC or like paying taxes, or like, building a brand and a business and then like actually touring, I had no idea what that even was about. I hadn't even crossed my mind until I was about 26 or 27. And we had booked our own show in Portland, and with the help of a local promoter, we sold out our first show ever at a proper venue in Portland. Nice. 800 tickets sold.
800.
Yeah, and
That's
classic
really cool.
me at the time, like I was a big fan of like big indie rock bands at the time that had, more instrument players than you probably would think was necessary. Like 2 drum sets, like 3 guitarists, a bass player, and then like 3 leads, just weird makeup of bands. And I was really into that. And so the lineup was like, there was like 5 opening acts, and then there was like 8 people in my band, 9 people. It was crazy, and we sold it out. And we recorded the show. That was the thing. We recorded the show that night. That recording made its way to my, who would then become my first manager and booking agent. And I remember courting them for a year because I had real trust issues with the suits, like people behind a desk. I was really not sure about
their intentions.
Yeah, the intentions, but and I think what was important for me to learn in those times was that it was okay to sort of have, a bit of resistance and question around like, oh, is this really heading in the right direction? But the vision of the future was what they were trying to get me to like produce, because I didn't know where I wanted to go. I didn't know what I was trying to do. I just knew I loved doing what I was doing, but I couldn't see how it was going to scale because I'd never done it before. I didn't go to school for business, I didn't.
Yeah, you're made from the street kind of.
Yeah.
Like you really build yourself up.
Just a street musician, like self-taught guitar player, like sure I had lessons in piano and whatnot, but no real structure as a songwriter, didn't grow up in the music business, didn't have any like connection to it, Really had my own grassroots following as well. So that's all to say, yeah, it shaped me up real quick to like jump on the wheel of touring and get into the system of it real quickly and work our asses off for a good 5 years there.
Yeah, we say like if you want to learn how to swim, just you will be thrown in the water. It's like it's this thing. And I mean, this is not Adam Rogan show. We don't have 3 hours. I would love to speak with you more, but we need to
we're gonna roll some joints in here and shit.
So maybe just like one thing. So you are now in Czech Republic, in Prague. You have concerts this night, like
Meat Factory tonight, man. It's gonna be fun.
How do you see? I mean, you travel a lot. You know a lot of cultures, and you meet so many people. And so, like, do you have any kind of feeling or understanding about like Czech Republic and Prague? For example, this thing that they are on the concert and they don't move with their face, but they are actually enjoying it.
Did we talk about that last year?
No, I saw it in some video. Oh, with this another guy from Lou, this podcast you did. With him.
Yeah.
I was laughing so hard because it's so true.
It's true. Like I'm so accustomed to. I'm clearly a very American, and like gregarious, energy. Like and I lean heavily on my audience, for an exchange.
Yeah, there's this reciprocity which helps you to do the best.
Yeah. I kind of have to get used to. Do you watch much comedy?
Well, I don't have time with 2 kids to watch anything, basically.
Yeah, maybe not watch. I listen more than I watch it. There's something in comedy called bombing, and it's like, you get up there, you're doing the jokes, but nobody's laughing.
Yeah.
It feels like you're bombing when you are saying stuff, even if it's just like what a normal audience that you would think would be like reactive in a way that is like encouraging, or maybe laugh at a little moment of humor, or
have some reaction.
A reaction, I guess. Just baseline reaction, And sure enough, like the first show in Germany, it was like, I was like, oh shoot, I have to be like, because what happens is if I don't get the reaction, you're kind of waiting for you're waiting, the pause there is to like, yeah, okay, and then move on. But when there's no yeah, it's like, okay, just gonna keep going. And so and for me, it kind of makes me lose my train of thought because I'm thinking about how funny this is. Because I'm very squirrel in my mind, but it's a trick, you read the room and you continue to just kind of keep going with it, keep carrying it, it's a daily. And then my thing is I have to learn not to poke at people because I'm a real jokester, and I have a real dark sense of humor, and I understand that a lot of people probably listen to my music and think I'm not like that. So it's kind of like my space to like break down the wall and be like, no, I'm really silly, and also I have a dark sense of humor, and I'm probably gonna make fun of some stuff, because that's the Joker in me. It's very Hayoka. You know what I'm saying? Like, real sacred clown shit going on here. But I just think that the Prague, so much history here. that's part of one of the great things about traveling and doing music is that you get to travel to these places that you normally wouldn't just come holiday at, you know. And so I feel like when I roll into a new city, like this is my second time, of course, here, I'm getting a crash course in history, as well as like current history and what the communities are like and what people are going through. And, you know, I think the thing that I often will take away from these experiences is that no matter how far away from home I am, the similarities of our experiences, no matter, you know, the culture, no matter the age,
Skin, whatever.
yeah, skin color, like beliefs and whatever, we are so similar, you know. And I think that just speaks, of course, to the fact that we're all human. At least most of us are.
Oh,
I said that joke the other night in Harlem. I was like, hey, something about human, and I was like, oh, I'm pretty sure you guys are all human, right?
you never
Nobody
know, man.
laughed. And I was like, all right, well, if you're not, come talk to me later. If you have a spaceship, I've got parking space.
Wow. Okay, let's finish it here because they are like jumping on us and stuff. We need to really go. There's someone else.
So cool. We could just be chilling. Oh, that was a really spoke
or-
day.
So, bro, like, what's
want me
your
to-
plan for today?
Well, today, going to load into Meat Factory and set up for the show, for the Take Your Power Back show tonight. Very excited to bring this particular show out here. This album came out in 2020 in the summer, in the heart of the pandemic. So I never got to actually do this show, you know. As an entertainer and as a person who, you know, has a background in musical theater, I love so much to build a story arc. As a fan of music myself, you know, and loving the journey that an artist can take you on, both visually and melodically, and like, you know, with the show. I really wanted to put together a solid, you know, show that had enough talking points in it to sort of tell a bit about the album itself, about the songs and why those songs ended up on the album, and why the name Take Your Power Back, why those songs belonged in this story. And now why also, like, after 6 years of it being out, what I've learned in the reflection process since that, because, you know, those songs had been written, some of them had been written for the album and some of them had been around for many years. And so how, you know, what had changed from like when I put it out and what I believed then to what I believe now, and how I weave that, you know, that thread of the story arc for the audience, and how the set's built in that way as well.
I'm so excited to see it.
Yeah,
tonight.
dude, I'm really proud of it. It's been interesting. You know, I leave a lot of room for organic flow as well, trying to like maintain the, you know, my talking points, but it's, you know, it's strong, and it's, I think that there's something in there for everybody.
That's for sure. And this time, you know, like, we are quite busy on this planet now.
Very
Take
busy.
Your Power Back is very powerful encouragement and empowerment.
It does
message.
feel as though it's like really well timed.
Yeah,
you know,
I like it.
even leaving home, I was like, well, I don't know what's going to happen when I'm gone out here, because it's not looking great. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know, I hope that, you know, after having done the North American tour, it did feel as though, you know, that there was a good medicine had been spread, you know. And so I think that as I've been out here on this side of the world, it's translated. You know, I have to slow down what I'm saying, because I talk fast, and I have to try and tighten up the point of my message to sort of help my audience. But I think that, you know, for the most part, I have to remember the music speaks for itself. You know,
exactly. And where do you go next from Prague?
To Poland.
Poland.
Yeah.
Okay.
Going to Krakow tomorrow.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
my first time actually.
Wow, nice. And then.
And then it's off to Budapest.
Budapest.
Yes, and then Vienna, and Munich, and Salzburg, and then Munich, and then Zurich, and then the UK.
Okay. That's still a really nice path to walk, man.
Yeah.
So
man.
if you want to, like, people, if you want to see Nahko and his concert and this Take Your Power Back album,
Nahko.com/tour.
just go and get it.
NAHKO.
Great.
Yeah.
Cool, bro.
Yeah. Pleasure, brother.
It was really nice.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Great chat.
Yeah.
I know we could sit around and talk all day.